So in this next section, I really wanted to put Soundtrap through its paces to maximize Soundtrap's full capabilities. So what I did was I took bits of Movement 2 from Bach's cantata and I diced them up and chopped them up and manipulated them in different ways and made a new beat out of them all. I'll briefly go through some of the things I did that I hope you'll find useful and that might inspire you to explore some of these tools yourself in Soundtrap. So now I'm going to break down exactly how I went about making some of those things. I'm going to expand this track 2 vocals only track by holding down the bottom line and dragging it down. This will make it bigger and easier to see what I'm doing. And now while holding down Control and hitting the right arrow on my keyboard, I can zoom in. I'm going to hit solo as well on this so that all you can hear is this track. This little headphones icon is the solo button. What I have here is the vocals only extracted from the main Movement 2. I did this by using the website moises.ai, which you've been introduced to earlier on in this workshop. The reason why I did isolate them is I wanted to use the vocals as forming part of the new composition that I was going to make. So what I did was I trawled through this entire track, and when I heard something that I liked the sound of, I dragged it down into this other track that I've called Bits from Main Vocals. So anytime I liked something, I hit Control and E, which splits a clip, and I dragged it down into this new track. So here are some of the bits that I found interesting or wanted to manipulate even further, and I'll zoom in even more just so you can see these ones. So having collected all of those sounds, I then went about manipulating them and changing them into what I wanted to suit my compositional needs. In this way, I'm actually thinking of the original track as a found sound source. So on this Zudir track, I've taken a snippet of when the vocalists sing Zudir and I've turned it into this. So what I would have done is taken this is the Dir part and then just copy and pasted that around the grid until I came up with a rhythm that I liked the sound of. I can then pitch and repitch that Dir to whatever I want. So later on it becomes this little melody moment. And similarly on this track called Melisma, I've taken one of the melismatic passages and turned it into this. That one I've just pitched down the octave, and here it gets a bit wild. Coming down to the bass part quickly, I took the very first beat of the piece on the continuo. Then I isolated an oo and layered it to make a chord. I further manipulated that oo to make this sound. For this hi-hat rhythm, I took an S from the vocal part and again manipulated and chopped it up to make a new rhythm, and this is what I came up with. So all of those vocal chops from the main track and the vocal strip track of the cantata sound like this. Just the last two things I added were drum sounds and guitar sounds, For the drum sounds, I just used the built-in drum machines that are there. Here's what it sounds like with the kick, the snare, and the vocal hi-hat that I manipulated. And just for my own curiosity, the last thing I wanted to check out was how Soundtrap did when recording in an instrument. So I did 4 guitar parts on this track, and they sound like this together. And I just used the effects that were in Soundtrap, so I plugged my guitar directly into my computer via an audio interface, and away I went, and I used only the stock sounds and effects that were available to me in Soundtrap. And the whole thing together sounds like this.